We need to start making some money on this, Don, so we can get an IT. We can hire an IT guy to do all this for us.
All right, welcome to the D2 Speedcast. We've got we just wrapped up our first round of the IndyCar iRacing Challenge. If you're watching that, thanks for tuning in on Twitch for the stream for that. That was an interesting race. Always I racing always throws you for a loop, Darren, or two.
Yeah, it's not the most real thing. Tony can probably contest to that here in a minute as well, because he did some last year, didn't he? And we didn't see Dixon or any of those guys that actually have a life outside of iRacing. A lot of these young kids, they can spend 10, 20 hours a day on iRacing and really get the technique down. The timing, which is hard, right? You've got no feel. It's not really the same as the real car, so you need to run million laps to actually get anything good at it, don't you?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just fixing the audio here. We should be good. Yep. Yeah, no, it can be tough. Although to be fair, I was looking at Will's. Yeah, I was looking at Will's iRacing profile, and he has like 1,400 races on there or something. So, well, I guess he only recently had a kid, so he had time in the past. But without further ado, we'll bring Tony on. We were a little late starting, just getting webcams and stuff figured out. So, Tony, thanks for coming.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
There he is.
I feel you guys' pain about the racing, so that's why I wasn't part of it. And it's not because I didn't want to support IndyCar. I love sim racing. I mean, I'm in front of a steering wheel, so you guys can tell. But the amount of time we're so competitive that the amount of time that you have to spend to be like a second slower than those guys, it's too much. So I decided not to do it.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you, Dalton.
Well, the thing was is like I told myself, because like last year we went all out, right? We were testing. We had we thought we did, but like I had made like an Excel fuel sheet, and we were doing the whole thing and like just going nuts.
We had team meetings, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, we did. It was excessive. But so like this year, I said, and for the sake of my sanity and my relationship, I think everyone's wives and girlfriends were a little frustrated with the simulators by the end of that, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to devote like not the minimum time, but like a reasonable amount of time to this and not go crazy. And then here I am the last 2 nights just driving myself insane trying to catch like Palou and those guys who are just so good on the sim. It's just, I mean, it's just, it is kind of its own thing, but we're all super competitive, like you said, and it's hard to dial that back.
Yeah. So tell us what you're up to, Tony. We're not going to see you full time this year. Tell everybody what you got going on.
So I mean, if you guys follow me, I announced it last year that I was gonna slow down. I was only gonna do a partial season, only the oval races for AJ, and I was looking for like a slowing down in life, do other things, blah blah blah. And the pandemic hit, and we did the 500 without fans, which I never thought that was gonna happen in my life. I mean, I think crazy,
yeah, right?
And actually, I was in a Skype call with one of my sponsors. I said, I don't think it's fair for me to retire, at least an Indy without the fans, and jokingly. And he's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Are you serious?" Yeah. I said, "Well, then, yeah." So that started again, and then the opportunity with Jimmy Johnson at Chip Ganassi Racing. Darren, you being there, you know how that team works.
Yeah.
Something that you can't pass. You really can't pass. So that started it. And then I said, all right, back to Lauren. I said, look, it's even less. And instead of 6 ovals, it's only 4, 3 weekends, because out of the
Doubleheader.
4, 2 of them are double headers. So don't worry about it. And then Tony Stewart calls and says, hey, you want to do some SRX races, which is, the new series that he's doing. It's only the summer. It's only 6 races. It will be really fun. Like, bum, you come in one day and you leave the next day. So I go back. I said, so Lauren, 10 races. And it's only in the summer. It's really quick. It's like, okay. 3 weeks later, Rubens Barrichello calls me, says, hey, we have a sponsor for a stock car in Brazil to do it's like a V8 supercar. And they want to talk to you. So we talked and we agreed for me to do 10 races in Brazil. That one, I went back to Lauren and said, we have a problem. And so it went from 4 races to 20 this year. So that's what I'm up to, apart from trying to raise 4 kids. Having, I've just picked up streaming this last 4 months, which is becoming actually a job. You guys know, because you guys have this and you know how long it takes, the technical
set
issues,
everything
blah,
up.
blah, 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 blah. So yeah, Darren, I've never been that busy in my entire life. So
after you're saying you want to slow down, fella.
yeah, I guess I just fooled myself. And then I think, typical. I think it was a year that I kind of got the hang of what slowing down would mean because of the pandemic. So we all had to kind of slow down. I don't think I liked it, so I'm glad that it's picked back up.
It kind of gave you a taste, and you're like, no, we gotta go back racing. Go.
Well, actually, Lauren kind of said, you gotta go back racing.
Get out. That's why you're on the bike.
Kind of similar for me. Yeah. It was kind of similar for me. I got out of racing and I'm like, I was tired of beating the path, trying to get the sponsors and go racing, right? And this was 10, 15 years ago, when there weren't really that many sponsors or good, motor racing's, I think, in a bit of a, upward turn right now. But I said, I'm going to get out of it. I don't want any. I went away, did like 4 or 5 years of business outside of racing, and I was grumpy. Right, missed the competition and the bettering yourselves. Got back into Indianapolis for Now what am I going to do? Yeah, back to racing.
Right. I mean,
it's hard to get out of.
Plus, it's hard. It's really hard to let it go. And then that's something that eventually I know. I mean, I'm 46 years old. There is not that many years left anyway.
So I'm kind of curious about the Brazilian stock car series. So for those that aren't aware, is that like it's like a V8 supercar type chassis?
It's a V8 supercar. They have 2 manufacturers that actually it's the same car, but they put their like the NASCAR. They put their body on, which is Chevy and Toyota. And they have 30 cars. It's the most popular series in Brazil. It's kind of exactly like the V8 supercars. It's 500 horsepower. I think the V8s have more, but anyway. And we race all over Brazil. Funny because people say, "Wow, you're going home and you know all the tracks." And I left Brazil so long ago that I only know 4 out of the 10 tracks.
Okay.
Because they being new. So.
Oh wow.
A lot of good drivers though, right?
Oh yeah, I mean all the Rubens, Felipe Massa, Rubens Barrichello, and then their kids there and like in Australia, they couldn't make it to Europe or to the States, and they specialize on that. I had a kid that raced with me that is still doing that, so you can imagine he's been doing that for 25 years. And here how it goes of the weekend: no off-season testing, 0. 30 minutes of practice straight to qualify and race. So I'm going to go to the first race. I have 30 minutes, if everything goes right, to figure out the car, the track, and everything else.
Wow.
A small challenge.
Yeah, it'll be. You're up for it.
Just like iRacing for you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just do lots of iRacing. You'll be going.
Exactly.
I do think that they recently added a V8 supercar, but like I said, it's maybe not quite the same, but at least get kind of a feel for it. So is it like a sequential, or do you have like an actual shifter and all that? Paddle shift and everything?
Yeah, it's actually proper.
Nice.
Like up to, I would say, it's modern, like
Yeah.
they didn't keep it old style. So it's
Mhm.
it's
And
pretty decent.
any
but
pit stops or teammates or
one
anything?
one
or?
pit, no teammates, one pit stop per race. It's mandatory, and you have to change
Okay.
at least 2 tires. So
Okay.
Okay.
But it's all road cars. There's no ovals or anything.
no ovals. We don't have ovals in Brazil.
Okay.
So yeah, no. But
Cool,
I'm
cool.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna be Ruben's teammate, which we raced together all our lives, and then he went to Formula One, and then we became teammates in IndyCar for 1 year when I drag him out here. So
Remember, yeah.
that's at least that's gonna be fun. That's definitely gonna be fun.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Be probably tough on the. Well, I guess there probably won't be much jet lag really because you're pretty much heading just straight south, right?
It's 1 hour,
Okay, yeah, that's
so it's not
nothing.
a lot.
A lot of
And I'm
travel, but
gonna
yeah, none of
probably
that.
go a couple days early to see my family. Obviously, my
Mhm.
oldest son lives there, so it's a good opportunity to see him more often than just 3 times a year. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go there 10 times.
yeah,
So
yeah. When was the last time you were back home?
I actually went there last month after a year and a half because of the pandemic to do the announcement. So I was there. Obviously, Leo comes here quite a bit. You saw him at the gym.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while, so it's gonna be cool.
Nice. Well, yeah. Speaking of the gym, so Tony and I both train at Pivot Training, and well, I mainly train at Pivot Training. Totally, that's only a small part of Tony's training regime. But I thought it'd be interesting to
You
talk
can
a
see
little
the
bit about.
background
Yeah, you
there,
got
right?
some pictures of you doing the Ironman and all that, and that's a huge part of your life. So, what kind of got you into cycling and the
And
triathlon world?
actually, I forgot, Darren and Dalton. On top of that, I'm gonna do Kona, the Ironman in Kona in October as well. Uh, I don't know how I forgot to put that in. Probably some
Which
Lauren
You're
would
too busy.
kill me, but yeah, I got into triathlons when I was like 15. Um, I had a coach in Brazil, a strength coach that kind of like because I started racing go karts, I was so young, and when you're that young, you couldn't lift weights or anything. So
hmm
to try to be stronger for to drive the go kart, because I'm still a very short person, but I was one of those kids that I actually was really really short when I was young, and then I ended up picking up late, like on my 18s, 19s. I kind of still short again.
When was I was gonna say when did you actually catch up height, Tony?
I catch up my max from between 17 and 19. I actually caught up. I went from a 5'4" to a 5'6". So
Yes.
it was like,
We're getting there.
but I was so little that my dad actually made me go to the doctor a few times to see if there was nothing wrong with me. That I was like a really short person. My mom is really short. My mom
Mhm.
is 5 foot tall. So, and I picked up, I think, on her side. Um, so I start swimming, and obviously I always rode a bike as a kid. You always ride a bike, and then I was running to do some cardio, and then my coach says, "Why don't you try triathlons?" And I started. I was 18, and I started loving it, and I've been doing ever since. It's gonna be 30 years. Well, 28 years this year. Um, it's a very brutal sport. Like it's not like ours. I mean, you don't drive a race car. You go, you train a little bit, and you're still as good. You can still win a race. It's not like you need to triathlons if you don't train every day. I mean, you can't
Yeah, it'll
you can't
show.
keep up. I'm not good at all. I mean, I'm so glad I pick up racing cars because if I try to make my career as a professional triathlete, that was going to be extremely bad. I'm not built for it, but I have fun doing it. I love working out. I mean, people know how freaky. I mean, you guys know that I'm a pretty workout freak. I work out 3, 4, 5 hours a day sometimes. Um, yeah, and that became a passion, and I got the opportunity to do the Ironman in 2011, the year that actually Dan died, and it was actually the week before Dan passed. I
Oh
did
wow.
Kona, and I got the invitation because I would never qualify for that. I'm not that fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year they invite me again, and I said, yeah, last year to do this year, and I said, yeah, I'm retiring. I'll have plenty of time to train.
Lots of time to train. Yeah, not
And
so much.
that not so much.
So are you doing the full distance or the
Full distance.
70.3?
Full
Yeah, the full
distance.
one. Wow.
And I mean, guys, don't let Dalton fool you because he just did a 70.3 at home, which is the most. I don't know how he did it, and he trains. He's very strong on the bike, probably a lot stronger than me. So don't let him say, oh, these people. They all give me credit, but him, Dixon, all the guys that train at PitFit. I mean, it's amazing how we actually push each other. It's crazy.
I think that's like one of the best parts about being there. It's for me, it's when you see guys like you crushing it on the bike, and Scott just with whether it's the rower or the skier, like he's so fit, right? And you see that, and you're like, well, if I want to compete with that, I have to at least try to match him, right? And it's always a tall order, but it's good having that. I've always liked having the kind of competitive side of it. I think it helps push you a little bit.
And that's a problem, right? Because it is and it isn't. But you go to the gym, sometimes you're like, I don't want to do anything. Then you go in and Dalton's on the freaking skier. And over there like, well, I might as well move
Yep.
my behind and then get going. And then, plenty of times, Scott especially, it's very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows, I mean, we have like alerts on each other's phone that he knows when I'm riding on Zwift. And so, like, he's like, I get in the gym in the morning. He's like, did you ride already? I said, yeah, I did a little bit. And I said, are you riding? He's like, nah, I won't. And then he goes to the gym. I stay longer in the gym. He gets home and I get a notification on my phone. Psing! I'm like, look at him. And so
I think you beat everybody. I think you beat everybody on the early morning rides, though, Tony.
Well, I have 4 kids and they're up early. So basically, the way we work here at home with Lauren wakes
supposed to stay with the kids.
I am. That's
not use them as an alarm call.
So Lauren wakes up at 4:45 every morning. He goes to work out at 5. So she's back at 6:30 when the kids are waking up. So I stay home because the kids can be alone, but they're still in bed. They wake up between 6:30, 6:45. She gets home. I get them. I'm already on my bike because I wake up with her. I finish around, so I do sometimes an hour and a half or two. So around 7:15, 7:30, I'm done because I started at 5:30. We feed the kids. We get them ready for school. I take them to school and go to PitFit. So that at least I get the use of. I'm already awake.
Right.
So what's the point? Why am I gonna? So that's pretty much our daily routine.
Yeah. So what? Sorry, go ahead.
In 35 minutes, it will be 5 minutes past my bedtime.
Okay, so we won't keep you all night. You gotta get your recovery.
Good luck.
9 or 9:30.
So that's something I've always kind of wondered, right? Like to maintain that schedule. Like you obviously didn't just start, like decide one day, okay, I'm going to take on this training volume. Like, did it take years of kind of building up to get a point where your body can actually handle that week in and week out?
No.
No, you just
pretty stubborn. I mean, you
just mentally doing it.
You just grind it, right? Like when we take a couple weeks off in the off season or a week, you come back. Yeah, I mean, we have professionals that follow us, guys. Don't think me and Dalton, we don't have guidance, right? So we have trainers and coaches. And so, I mean, I think it gradually picked up, Dalton, but really because I started doing short triathlons, then you go Olympic distance, and then you go 70.3s, and then so that was gradually, but the amount of the overload of training, I would say it picked up more as I got older because I need to catch up with you guys. I'm not
you have to keep on it,
but then you have the experience, then your body's already used to all those movements, the muscle memory, and then it becomes easier to do the volume because the body's just used to it.
Yeah, I know, and I think that's a good point. Like you're saying, we have the now 3 coaches at PitFit that are basically watching us all the time and tracking us through the Whoop bands that we wear that measure sleep performance and all that and stuff like that.
I mean, we have we have rings and people say, why do you wear 2 watches? It's not a watch, and we know how good and how bad we sleep, and then it's so technical nowadays that it basically. It's funny. I don't know you, Dalton, but I find mind-boggling sometimes that you rely on an electronic.
To tell you how you're sleeping.
Tell you if you slept well or not. Which some days I wake up, I'm like, feel like I feel so bad. And
Yeah.
the thing's saying your recovery was
Good to go.
95%. I'm like, that's bollocks. No way. So.
I'm actually not wearing mine right now, but
all the
yeah.
drivers are in the same app, and we know. Well, Dalton slept 8 hours last night. Everybody knows everything.
It's competitive again.
Can't get away with anything anymore. Just like driving, right? Just like I was flat through turn 1, honest.
No, you're not.
Well, what does the data show?
We all saw it.
No, and when we first got those straps, I remember I was kind of freaking out over my HRV's low or whatever, right? And then it was like I was worrying about the data, and then that was making me winding me up, and I think then I was more stressed, and then I was sleeping worse, and it's like a cycle. So sometimes I'll wear it for weeks and not even look at the app because I don't really want to know, because I don't want to start getting into that. But it is a good tool to have for sure, especially on a
I kind of I didn't give up, but like you said, for some reason I don't know what happened last night. Either I moved too much and the thing flipped, or it said I slept 2 hours, and obviously I did not.
Yeah.
So my recovery was terrible today, which I felt great. So it's good for a reference, but
you just have to go off how your body feels.
A number like that, otherwise you go crazy. I agree.
100%. So you've got an exciting season coming up with Jimmy. What's it been like working with him and seeing him kind of take to the IndyCar, the off season?
I mean, hats off to him, right? I mean, a guy that won 7 championships decides that to put himself out there against, the biggest names in racing on a series that doesn't have a lot of testing anymore. As you know, Dalton, how much you suffered last year with the no testing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And it's awesome to see his attitude. You're always learning from people like that. A guy that has won so much, how humble he is, how he doesn't care what people think. He's happy that he's doing that because he wants to do it. He doesn't owe anybody an explanation. Obviously, he's very competitive. This guy's been in a race car more than anybody I've seen anytime. He's racing Sebring this weekend. He did Daytona.
Yeah.
2 weekends ago, he called me and says, "Hey, what are you up to?" I'm like, "I'm home." Well, I'm going to Sebring. I rented a Formula 3 car for 2 days. You want to come? I'm like, "No, Jimmy, no." No. I raced Formula 3 a lot. And then, and he's trying to learn some of the tracks. And then he went to Laguna Seca and did, I think, a skip Barber or Formula 3 again. And he went to Barber, Tassie, and IndyCar. So it's awesome. I mean, I love to see a guy that has that much of a passion for racing after it's being so successful, because some of these guys are just like, well, I accomplished everything. I'm going to go do something else. And he's,
Yeah, sorry. It looks great, doesn't it? It looks like he's not doing it just for the money either.
No,
right? It's like you could.
Darren, I mean, let's face it. What those guys make in NASCAR will never make in this lifetime in IndyCar. So it's definitely not for the money.
Yeah.
But proof in the pudding is what you're just saying. How committed he is, and how I want to learn this track. I'm gonna go rent a. He's like committed.
No, because that's what he said to me. He says, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. Right. So I don't want to suck. Like, pretty much that's what he said to me, and I said, no, you don't. Yeah. And he's full on. I mean, the guy is like, it's unbelievable his determination, and at this age, look, he's the same age as I am. And I actually, to be fair, I don't know if I would be doing that if I was in his position. You know what I mean? After all his accomplishments, I know, because we have similar lives. We have kids, we have wives, we have life. And man, the guy.
And IndyCar is going to be tough for him.
Oh, 100%. I mean,
I don't know if you've talked to him about the physical side
of
it and how fit he is.
Training, obviously.
Not a NASCAR.
No, he came to Pit Fit, and he's training with Jim as well. He lives in Charlotte, and he bought every single equipment.
He bought a skier,
He has it in his house.
Yeah,
so he's on it. He's on it.
Yeah, because it'll be an adjustment for sure. I mean, I don't think we've actually met yet, but what is has he said anything what's the biggest thing that's kind of surprising him from the NASCAR to the IndyCar or anything? Or
the grip. the grip and the G forces, which I mean, I never driven a NASCAR car, but you can
Yeah.
imagine, like, so he's the fatigue and how much your body takes a beat, like in the
Yeah.
car, he says you start building up and you keep going quicker, 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 and quicker. And he says a NASCAR car is actually after lap one, you keep going slower, 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 slower.
Yeah.
And that for him, that mindset, it's tough. And physically, he's not prepared because he's like, I was ready to go do one lap, and then,
Yep.
okay, now I just gotta drive the car. I gotta find my momentum. I gotta drive on top of the track, the tires. This.
Yeah.
In IndyCar, you go okay, and then you go bang, bang, bang.
You
And
gotta
then
just
you're like,
laying
man,
down qualifying laps the
how
whole
many
time.
times the three of us, we can always say, how many times you're like, I don't think I'm gonna make to the end of this race if we keep going like this.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, man, keep going quicker every lap, and the track's improving, and so on. So that is, I think, for him, it was the biggest thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Although that'll be exciting to watch kind of his development and see how it goes. He's definitely learning a lot in the off season, and it'll be exciting. And it's good to have big names coming into IndyCar between him and Grosjean. Roman just did the IndyCar iRacing Challenge, which we're going to, I want to say, Homestead next week. Which
Homestead.
Yeah, I think
fun.
yeah, because you guys would have raced there back in the day, right?
Oh yeah, plenty. We
Yeah.
raced. So Darren and I probably, I don't know, Darren's not that old, but he was probably in Europe. But I raced all three configurations Homestead had because they
Wow.
changed that track 3 times.
Different bankings, right?
So I went from 4 corners like Indy, flat.
Yeah.
Then I went from a little banking, and now it's what it is. So
It's like tri-banking now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 3 steps. 'Cause we did a test there in the lights car on the oval years ago. What,
That's
like
right.
3 years
Getting
ago or
ready for
something?
Indy, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a speedway test for us. I think it was almost flat the whole way, at least in
Yeah.
qualifying trim. But so that'll be fun to try the iRacing there. It's we kind of talked about it at the start, but the iRacing stuff is great. I think it's an awesome tool for learning. And like
Look,
how
I mean, I can't really like. I love iRacing. I work for them. I actually helping them develop the tire model for IndyCar. I do a lot of things for them on the side beyond just driving the sim, which is something that started only a year ago. I've never had a simulator in my house. Now I have 3. So actually, I think. Let me see if you guys can see that. This is where I'm at. It's my son's Leo simulator. It's in the desk, the computer. But then let me see if I can get the camera. This is the monster that we're building right now.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
There you go.
So 3 49-inch curved screens. It's a project that I'm doing with Samsung. And so it's taking a lot of the time. So iRacing is great. I mean, now, are we going to talk about that, Darren? You know that because you work a lot with it's what you do, right? In a lot of ways. And are we going to build a race car driver if you say, oh, this kid is awesome on the sim, he's going to be an awesome IndyCar driver? I still think we're quite a bit of ways of that because of the feeling and some of the stuff. But I have to say, to learn racetracks, I mean, I'm using
great.
that actually. Some of the Brazil tracks, they have a different platform that actually has those tracks. I've been doing it to learn, and it's perfect. To refresh your mind, for us, before we go to Detroit, you go do a few laps. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, to say that, oh, how's the feeling? I mean, I've always been clear and honest about that it's not.
Well, that's where I think it is a great tool. And then for me, what I find actually what I like about it in the off season is like you can do races with real people, whether it's doing stuff like the IndyCar Challenge or just going on iRacing. I mean, you do that, right? You'll go out and just do regular races. And
I do that I do officials pretty much. I do 2 officials a day nowadays.
Yeah, so
to get
it's
the
a way to
feedback and try, and then people. I mean, I raced with McLaughlin the other day, Rubens the other day, and you just me, Rubens, and Alonso did a 12-hour race together that we won in Spa. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it
helps you stay sharp a little bit. No, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm not good at all at it. I have to admit, probably I can't compare myself. I, I'm an old school guy, so when I was, I don't know, this kid's age, like Lando Norris or Palou, we
Yeah.
didn't have this kind of things. We had video games like, you know, the,
The
you play with the joystick. So you're never gonna catch up to the kids anyway. They are born on that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I see my 14-year-old playing. You're like, how do you do that? It's just there. I guess they're just their brain or whatever. How they text, how quick they text, how quick they.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing a search the other day on the computer. I'm like, he's scrolling and going. I'm like, dude, I can't follow you. You just gotta like slow down, man.
Yeah.
So it's just, but it's fun. I mean, I love it. I love it, and it's addicting as well.
Yeah. Well, and the thing I like too is, for me, which I actually kind of like the iRacing has like the dirt racing and the rally crosses. You can try a car that like there's next to zero chance that I would go out and drive a stadium super truck, right? But like I can go do a race and feel and just like a kind of experience it, right? And I have the like VR goggles and stuff, which I think like I really like the immersion of that. So just to like try different cars and stuff, I think it is
I
pretty
mean,
fun.
it can go from. I mean, like today, I give an example. I drove Spa, Nürburgring, and Hockenheim, pretty much. You know,
Wow.
3 tracks, same car,
In one day.
in one day. You know, so you just
You
like
can't do that in real life.
no, you can't. I wish.
And for me, as more of on the coaching side now, how could you tell, if somebody's really good on the simulator, does that translate to the track? And it doesn't really. I've had some kids that have not even sat in a race car, but have been really good on the sim. Now, and then obviously you get guys in the simulator that are good on the racetrack and good on the sim, don't like the sim. But for me to use it as a tool to sit next to one of you guys, you Tony or Dalton, right? And just sit there, and you don't get to drive. You've got onboard cameras right now, but it just takes so much time. We can just pound laps and laps and really hone a technique that we may be trying to improve in the real race car. Try and take some of that real data and bring it, not necessarily go for fast lap times, improve a habit, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like what I found out with some of these kids that I also on the side try to help sometimes, and you go see them in the sim. There are some tricks that you can do it on the sim that makes you a lot faster there that you can't do it in a race car. So when I spot that in there, and I think you're pretty good at that because you were a race car driver. So I believe the best combination for somebody that wants to be on a sim, you have to have a race car driver as a coach. Otherwise, if you want to become a real race car driver, otherwise it's worthless
Yeah.
because I can see the bad habits. I say, listen, you can do that here as long as you know how to compartmentalize and take that out of the way because that's not going to fly in a race car.
No.
In the
Yeah.
real
In the real car, in the real car, and that's the biggest challenge. It's and then you see, but then you're like, I'm gonna copy that because at least I want to be good at the sim. And I can't.
Like what? But wait, what was it that you were doing? Tell me again.
So, I have like the kid's like, no, it's just do that. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
it does. I don't. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me.
Now, speaking of maybe a simulator that you could coach Darren on, Darren just got set up with a Zwift account, and he's got a little bike
Oh my
trainer.
God.
So, Darren, how's the Zwift been going? You been on there much?
Well, you're breaking up my internet.
Yeah.
I can't hear what you're saying. Sorry, guys. I gotta go.
So every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have 1 hour called the Pole Position with Tony Kanaan. You can join us. I'm gonna teach you how to join, and you're gonna
Yeah, you
ride
gotta
with
do
me,
that.
Dixon, Dalton.
The problem is, so I get on. I've been getting on it. I'm trying to train my backside.
Backside.
Right. I bought the best bib. The kids love it. It's hilarious seeing their dad in one of those bibs, with the padding and everything. Right. They love it. I don't wear a t-shirt on top just to embarrass them. But I've been going on. But the problem I find myself now is I'm so unfit compared to what I used to be, but my brain and my heart still want me to go flat out, and I die.
Well, that's if
You know,
keep doing that, eventually you won't. So that's
there
that's
you go. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change that. I would definitely I could say start slow. No, just keep going like that, Darren, because I know you. I race against you. Just in a few weeks, you'll be fine. You'll be miserable, but you'll be fine.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we just had a comment on the stream saying that Darren will have to live stream some of his Zwifting activities. So you've been
I
actually
would love to
streaming,
see
right?
Darren on a bib, on a cycling bib without a shirt on. That's just. I mean, I would love to see
No.
it.
Yeah, we'll set that up.
You've seen what my waistline looks like now.
It doesn't matter, Darren. I mean, that's why you're
I
working
don't
out.
look like that. I don't
You
look
know?
like that, Tony. That's for sure.
No, I mean, you know, actually, I wish I could have a picture of you when you were at Ganassi. You look a lot thinner than that, actually, that I'm in that picture.
I do. Guys were talking about with Jim Leo. I worked out with him with Dixon, and Chip used to have us doing fitness tests. I told Dalton, we were, Dixon and I were like the fittest two ever at IU back in the day and stuff. So yeah, it just takes time and commitment and some
Yeah.
determination, right?
Well, you're back at it, right? So that's just you have time now, right?
Well, I've got this. I'm with this guy too much.
Yeah, well,
Oh, it's my fault.
Darren, this okay. You're with him, but he's with me quite a bit in the gym too. So what is the excuse there? You just do it with him, then you guys even
Yeah.
more time spend more time together.
There you go.
I'll get there. I'll get there.
1
So
hour a day. 1 hour a day. That's all you need.
I need to find that 1 hour again. That's the
Now,
problem.
listen. Don't give me that. Don't give me that.
here's the
Wake up
thing.
at
It's
5,
at
you
it's at
find an hour.
4 to 5 o'clock in the morning.
Correct. Thank you, Dalton. Thank you very much.
I'm already up getting the kids off.
Look how many
I'm
excuses.
playing. I
Yeah.
need to get up early, but I don't go to bed at 9 o'clock. That's the problem.
Yeah. Which we are
Cool.
getting there. So you've got 4 races, but 3 events coming up this year. So what are you most looking forward to?
Actually, man, I'm looking forward to have the fans back. I don't care where we're racing and how we're racing. It's just like I think we all had enough, and hopefully, you know, I think we're probably ahead of many countries right now with the vaccine, and so I'm looking for interacting with them. Just I think it was so sad, and I think we can all say that because we've been in a racetrack, the three of us, without the fans, and the fans have not been in the racetrack. And I think it was sad of both ends that I can't just wait to go out, and just like whatever the new normal is gonna be, but like just see people.
Yeah,
It's
experience
like,
the racetrack and just everything again.
yeah,
I
yeah. I mean,
totally
I'm
agree.
looking for the 500 fans. If I have to pick one, that would probably, that's
It was
always
definitely different this year. You guys obviously experienced it, and you've done it many times. And I was kind of sad for Dalton, Tony. Right? Going out when you get your driver announcement, you get over the wall there, and you look left and right, and it's just a sea of people, and there was just nobody there. It was like a test day.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
it was so sad. I
was.
wasn't even as nervous as I used to be because it was like for some reason there was nobody there.
It felt the whole month felt felt so low key to me. It was like everyone was like, "Oh, it's gonna be like you're gonna be all antsy," and it was just like, I mean, it wasn't like they were blasé
No,
about it, but it
actually,
was like,
I told you that, and I said that on
yeah,
my interviews. I mean, for some reason, and I've seen a lot of rookies. For some reason, I ended up with a lot of rookies being my teammates, and you are by far the most calm and not worried, or at least you didn't show it. I mean,
yeah,
that I've never seen, which is pretty cool. Now, your new test will be this year with everybody around.
yep,
When you walk through Gasoline Alley,
yeah.
when you get to the green room, I want to look at your face because then I'm going to go, I
Yeah,
knew
now
it.
we'll see what it's like.
I remember you last year.
A little
Exactly.
different now. No, it was, and I really appreciated having you there last year. You and Charlie both I thought were great with just helping me and letting me know what it was going to be like. Because it is a daunting thing to do even without people there. It's a big race. It's fast and there's lots that you have to worry about. But it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to be back there in May.
Me neither.
Cool. Well, hopefully we are there with a whole bunch of our friends. We really miss the fans, and like I think you said it perfectly that we just want to be out there experiencing the racetrack again, and as we hopefully return to some form of normal life. So, on that note, I think it's a good place to wrap it up. But Tony, thanks for coming on. And if you
I know you guys have it's every week, right? This is weekly, right? I see you
bi-weekly right now, so it's like every other week. But once we get into the race season, it'll be pretty much weekly. Once on days that we're not traveling. Yeah,
a bit more to talk about, recapping the race, maybe give some insight into behind the scenes of race weekends and stuff that fans don't normally get access to.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And if you don't already know, you can follow Tony on his social. He has Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. Do you have a YouTube channel?
A YouTube channel as well, Tony Kanaan.
YouTube channel. I feel like most people watching are probably your fans anyway, but just in case there's anyone that doesn't know who Tony is, you can follow him there. All right, thanks.
You're not missing anything if you don't know what I am, guys. Don't worry about it.
Thanks for coming on, Tony.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
Tony. See you later, Dalton. See you guys.